with 3 commands. I want you to coach me. You tell me when I can go deeper, and deeper is before fear, before tension, before any type of pain whatsoever, before any discomfort. So they'll say, I don't know, and I'll say, just keep it to 3 words. They'll say deeper, and we'll proceed, we'll just sink in deeper until they say edge. And when we get to that edge, we hang out there. So it's often static compression into the belly of the muscle is where you're going to get your results. Because tendons are static guide wires that actually, when the muscle belly shortens, the tendon goes along for the ride. It gets taut. And then it also will actually compress and restrict or inflame joints. So to release the joints and release the so-called tendon, you got to work on the muscle belly. So our focus is on bellies of muscles. And so we may hang out in the abdominal musculature for maybe up to an hour. And when you initially start, we only maybe just at the superficial level. And then an hour later, which amazes the students just enormously, is that after an hour later, we're working on muscles that attach deep into the back, but going through the front. I'm actually working with the muscles via the nervous system, and what controls this whole nerve charge is the brain. And so it's not me trying to will somebody into relaxation, work on the appropriate amount of pressure that the recipient, the receiver of the work, is actually able to let go of their own tension. And a lot of the whole focus of the book that I've written is it's on what David Scott Lynn coined as the word cement. And that's chronic excess muscle and nerve tension. Not just muscle tension, but nerve tension as well. Cement. And when they have the problems in the back of the body, I often approach the front of the body to eliminate the problems in the back of the body. Because if the body gets shortened, like for instance from the rib cage to the pelvis, and the psoas and the abdominal wall collapses, then what happens, the whole thorax and the whole upper shoulder girdles and and the cervical spine lever forward off the gravitational plane, which gravity should be over the bone structure, not on the muscles. So to eliminate a lot of the chronic problems that I see in the back, including fibromyalgia, I get into the muscles that trunk flexors, the protractors of the shoulder, the neck flexors, and then they get into the last bit of releases the base of the occiput. So if you get the body back more upright, where it opposes gravity more efficiently, then often the chronic problems in the back dissipate. So it's not necessarily where the pain is where we automatically treat. And when I've taught,
you said earlier, it's not about chasing the pain.
Chasing the pain, and a lot of people just chase pain. If it was that easy, we would just circle the area and we'd work on the area of pain, and often that's not going to be actually the cause of the area, that's more the symptom. And the reason why they have symptoms in those areas is because the body's just trying to say, hey, I'm tired of holding the weight of the body up, because the muscles have to then assume playing the role of the bones. And it's really a neuromuscular exhaustion that occurs. And within the tone of the muscle, but more importantly, the tonus of the nervous system. The nervous system gets neuromuscular exhausted. People that have to have protracted shoulders and the heads forward, the muscles in the back are like the guide wires holding up the crooked tree. So if they're sitting there lengthened, and they're lengthened for long periods of time, they get really exhausted, and then pain equals abnormal physiology. So then pain starts signaling, hey, get your bodies more upright. So it's often the back of the body is where most people experience the pain, and within my work, structural balancing is working really in distant areas, to hopefully alleviate and create symmetry. Our whole goal is to create symmetry in the body and get the body back over the bone structure. My philosophy is that if I assess the body and doing a structural assessment and really look at the body and knowing where I want to work, after I take one session at a time. I let people kind of experience the experience, and then if they need further work, or if we're in the right direction, they're going to get less frequency and intensity of the pain, then we know we're in the right direction. for each session afterwards, I always reevaluate based on the last session. So I don't set everybody on a recipe. I kind of individualize each protocol and each treatment strategy based on that person's individual needs. And I really love what I do, you know. I mean, I found my niche in life, you know, and I'm in my 27th year of working with bodies. And the success of a school is really, you know, how a school kind of progresses without financial aid, or ones that don't want to take financial aid. You build it by, you know, the grassroots, and that's the bottom floor, and you build it by reputation, you know. So I want to work with just more of a small elite group, and that's why I put in my website, become part of an elite group of bodywork professionals, you know. Yeah. And you know, the years of working with professional athletes and physicians, I think, is what's gave me a leading edge to be able to then, from experience, be able to share that with my students. And I hold nothing back, you know. Everything. I often tell the students, you know, plan on being overwhelmed the day you start, and plan on being overwhelmed your last day of school. I think that the first level is that they're unconsciously incompetent. They have no idea what we're going to be speaking about or what we're going to talk about. And then after the first week, they become consciously incompetent. Now they know they don't know this material. And then after a while, it's second nature. It's just like, you know, somebody that knows that they've been working with their trade for a long time, they become unconsciously competent. You just can look at somebody, which used to take me 8 hours to evaluate somebody's posture. You know, 8-hour seminars, we'd sit there and look at people all day long. I have a pretty good idea what's going on within about 2 or 3 minutes now by the case history and the way they're sitting, because the key is to evaluate people when they know they're not being looked at. Instead of sitting up perfectly straight, because people don't want to give up their postural flaws, so they all want to look good, and really you don't get a lot of information on that. So I look at people when they know they're not being looked at, you know.